Okay, we are doing it. Cactus man, what a beautiful man you are. Good morning, guys. I hope you're doing good. I am in Tucson, Arizona, the driest and most cactusy place I've ever been. I wanted to take a minute to firstly say thank you guys so much for your insane response to the Solvey Project 2016. As you know, Louis and I did a trial last year and it went really well. So this year we wanted to up the ante to make it more inclusive and more globally representative. On that basis, Louis and I agreed that in April we're going to fly east around the world in 30 days, stopping in Lagos, Dubai, New Delhi, Shanghai, a little bit of fun in Seoul, Tokyo, Rio and Reykjavik. So hopefully we're coming to a place near you. And I wanted to make a little video to address some of the really good questions that you guys are asking. If you haven't seen it, it's on Louis' channel. I'll put it in the description below. So I'm just going to rattle through a bunch of the questions that we've been asked on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. First up, Ducanos 89 on Instagram. No South Africa or UK dates. I love South Africa. I was born in Johannesburg, but it's super far down and it's not very easy to sort of make the leap. Also, it's not the most populous country in Africa. Nigeria is, it has almost 200 million people. And so we thought we would stop there, a place that often gets neglected. A little thing about US and UK YouTubers audiences. Mine, for example, is like a third UK, a third US, and a third the 200 other countries in the world. So the US and the UK are well-trodden paths. People who watch videos in the UK and US typically, culturally and through YouTube, know that they are invited to whatever party is going on. And we can see that in the Solvey project last year. 6 out of the 10 projects that got submitted were from the UK and the US. And then when you filter through all the stages, actually the last 10 projects, 6 out of 10 of them were from the UK and US. What we wanted to do this year was make sure that all the other countries also knew that they're invited to the party. So whilst it may seem counterintuitive, and it is in a way, we didn't want to go to the UK and US and do formal stops and meetups and jam sessions in those countries because you guys know that we already care about you and want your applications in this project. It's everybody else that we want to make sure knows that they're included. Sorry if I get this wrong. Shailesh Mishra. Is it required to book a hostel where you're staying in New Delhi, even though my home is just around that? On Twitter, thank you for that good question. No, the reason for us putting the links to the hostels is because that's where we're staying. That's also where our jam sessions are going to be happening. And if you're traveling from far, then obviously it makes sense to get good, cheap accommodation and to stay near where everything's going on. If you live around the corner, please don't book a hostel. It's not a prerequisite of being a part of the jam sessions. It's just simply to make it easy for people to come and visit and stay. Johnny's Adventures on Twitter. Should all the ideas be environmental based? Great question. The answer is no. A couple of the helpful tools to help us think strategically and globally are the UN's global goals and the Social Progress Index. And those links are below. There are 17 different sustainable development global goals. So sustainability has to be a part of everything we think about. Whether we're interested in healthcare or education or opportunity, everything has to be done with a slightly sustainable mindset, otherwise it's not going to work for the long term. And we're looking for creative ideas that solve problems for the long term to make people's lives better. Zara Gilbertson on Twitter. Starting the 28th of April, can we submit our ideas? Yes. And how do we do that? Again, great question. So this is how it's going down. Louis and I will be flying to meet you guys all through April. On the 28th of April, we'll be in Reykjavik, Iceland. We will announce that the button has been pressed for the applications to go live. You'll then have a 2-week window, 3 weekends worth if you're working during the week, to be able to submit your application on solvey.com, solvey.com. Naleli Rivera says, you're not coming to the United States? How can we participate anyway? It's a great question. Please don't be deceived by the tour that those are the only places in the world that you can apply from. That is not the case. We're just trying to let everybody know that everybody is included in this. You can absolutely apply from the United States on the 28th of April when the application's open. Or if you don't have an idea, share this with your friends, support someone else that does have an idea that maybe wouldn't have applied on their own. Brookie Banyo Snapper says, I noticed Solvey isn't coming to the USA. Are you open to Americans traveling to meet you on the tour? Anybody from anywhere is welcome to come and meet us on any of the stops. If you've got a passion for some creative ideas that could really change the world and want to be part of jamming those in together and meeting other like-minded people, then please do come if you can make it. If it's just to hang out, then there may be other better opportunities to do that, because we're going to be on it. Quilt on YouTube. I come from the UK and live in Dubai and have many ideas to improve this country and the UK. Just I feel that my age may get in the way of my ideas coming across to the leaders. Listen, don't worry about that. Do not let your age get in the way of your mindset of what you think you can do. That is what we're here to try and help with, is to try and find the small voices with the biggest ideas, no matter what age, what experience. If it's a good idea and you can begin to articulate it, then we can help you frame that and sell it into different groups and audiences that need to hear that. Don't be held back by your age. Kitty Convoy says, it's clearly just places they want to visit. For example, Iceland looks totally out of place on the list until you remember how much Louis fell in love with the Northern Lights. I sort of agree and sort of don't agree. I mean, I chose exactly where we would go and ran it by Louis. It's actually my choice to be in Iceland because of this opportunity to connect into an amazing conference there called What Works with my friend Michael Green, the economist who runs the Social Progress Index. But we do both love Iceland, and I've never been to Japan, I've never been to Shanghai, there's a bunch of other places I've never been to. So yeah, it is about passion and interest, but also if you look at the blog post, which I'll link below, about Solvey Global, you'll see the thinking that's gone in that's actually determined where we're going. It's not just where would be most fun, it's not what sponsors wanted us to do. We put this plan together and then we approached people that we thought could support it, which is why we've ended up working with Hostel World, who are providing all of our accommodation, our events, and making provisions for some of you guys that we're going to be working with. Bunny M says, it sounds a bit like a standard round the world ticket from STA Travel, but the idea is great and I think it's awesome they use their influence to do something good. So it is a standard ticket from STA Travel. That's exactly where we booked our flights, because they helped organize a very complicated trip. But if we wanted to just fly around the world, I just would go and fly around the world. We are doing this because we care about including as many people as we can into this kind of global conversation about how to create solutions for our collective future. Maggie McDermott, great name, Maggie McDermott, you must be Scottish. April Fools, they ain't gonna do it, imagine, haha. Okay, so I didn't think about the April Fools 1st of April concept, but I can assure you it is no joke. We will be getting on that plane and arriving in Lagos, Nigeria on the 2nd. Fresh Wreckage says the UN League of Nations has done a lot to cause global problems. Now, this is quite a big, bold statement. I don't profess to know about the history of how the world was all joined up. The UN global goals is a good thing. We're looking for ways to think of ideas to sustainably develop this global community that we live in. I'm very present focused on what do we have available, what is in our hands today, and what can we do with it. And I hope that you'll be able to join us with that, whatever your views are on history. Ozzy Miller says, I currently work for Deliveroo and all you need is a bicycle and a smartphone. If there were a way the homeless and anyone that needs a job could have access to a bike and a phone, a lot of people would have a job. Ozzy, that is a great observation. And I really love the way you're thinking about employment and technology and transport. If you were able to turn that into a video application and sent it in to us after the 28th of April, that would be a cool idea and we'd appreciate that. Great comment, but don't just leave it in YouTube comments. Mike the Stand. I strongly believe we need to look deeply into the governing bodies of every nation and work to crush greed and corruption. This will free up resources and get help to all those in need of it. The theft by the already rich elites must end. Mike, this is a very powerful statement, a very powerful comment, kind of rings true to me to a degree. But at the end of the day, Solvey is not about just pointing out the problems in the world. It is about taking that creative step to say, okay, if this, then that. If this is the problem, what can I creatively imagine to do something about it? And I really, really hope that you will take that step and do that work and then submit a video application at the 28th of April. Theodore Miller says, I would like £1 million to start a vegan cocaine farm. You guys up for it? In jest or in seriousness, we don't want to sit here and stop your creativity. We want you to create the ideas that you believe in, and we want you to apply with those ideas. We may or may not choose to get behind them, but we don't want to talk about or advise too much at this stage. If that's what you believe in, Theodore, then sell it and tell us why. If you're joking, then put something else in that you really believe in. I also got an email that said, I'm from Brazil. I have a large amount of things I would like to share with you regarding the Solvey project. Thanks. Our email address is hello@solvey.com. We see everything, we read everything, but sending an email that's cryptic like this is not easy for me to engage with. If you're gonna send an email with a question, please be as specific as you can. It makes it easier for us to help you, and then we can share that kind of interaction in videos like this so that others benefit as well. And that's it. That is all the main questions that I think would be of benefit to share with everybody at this stage. The general theme is everybody is invited. You don't have to book a hostel. It's only do that if it's convenient. And applications are open on the 28th of April for 2 weeks, and then we'll start filtering down the applications. I really hope you'll apply. Stick any more questions that this video makes you think of in the comments below, and I am happy to answer absolutely anything about how we made this, who's funding it, where we're going, and what we're doing next. I'm so excited that we actually get to meet a bunch of you guys in just a few weeks. So stay tuned and let us know what you're thinking. Cheers.